What's happening, everyone? JayShockblast here, and we have a big update from the Marvel Avengers team. This is the State of the Game update from October 15th, 2020. I don't know if this went live overnight, but I'm just seeing it now. And there's a lot to take in here. I'm going to lead off from the start. Kate Bishop has been delayed. She will be coming sometime in November, and the upgrade for Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5 has also been delayed into next year. Those are the heavy items that I think is going to disappoint a lot of people, but understand their reasoning is sound, and everything that's here makes a lot of sense. I'm going to read this to you. You can obviously read it yourself if you want to. I also am going to show you that they are giving us a bunch of stuff as a courtesy to show their appreciation, as a sign of our appreciation for being with us from the start of the journey, beginning at 10 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time on October 22nd. Players will receive a digital thank you bundle, which includes 1,500 credits, enough for a legendary skin and nameplate for the marketplace, 7,000 units, enough to buy a legendary skin from Chastity, 250 upgrade modules, even better, 20 DNA keys, fantastic, and the hilarious part, a Sarah Garza-Inspired Nameplate, because seriously, you're the best. Now, this is great, okay? And I know there's people that might be cynical and not think that's enough. I'm sure people lost DNA keys through some of the errors and glitches and whatever. Look, they're trying, all right? I have been very critical about certain aspects of the game, that certain ways that I have personally been affected, and I'm fair, okay? This right here, I think, is huge, because this shows they're human. They're in on the joke. Seriously, you're the best. Seriously, you're the best. We've all experienced that sound loop, and you know, it's simple, and I don't think anybody's going to use this nameplate unless they're doing it just purely as a joke because it's funny, and that's the point. I think they're doing what they can. They obviously didn't want this experience for everybody, and I think we're all just kind of looking at this passionately. So I'm going to read some of this. We've been thrilled to see many of you enjoying Marvel's Avengers, to watch you fall in love with Kamala Khan in the Reassemble campaign, customize iconic superheroes your way, and discover new Warzone co-op strategies with your friends. Marvel's Avengers launch was not without turbulence, and we recognize that a number of issues detracted from your enjoyment of the game. This does not align with Crystal Dynamics' value of craftsmanship, and for that we sincerely apologize. Over the past few weeks, our team around the world has been heads down fixing bugs and tuning key gameplay systems, guided in part by your feedback. Since launch, we've released rapid updates to address these bugs, improve gameplay stability or game stability, and refine our matchmaking system. While our work is never done, these fixes and additions have made improvements to the overall player experience. And it has, especially the last update. The last update really felt like it was all us. It was all us saying, this is what we want, this is what we're hoping for, and the game feels a lot better, okay? It does. It just simply does. And it's great. I love being able to run around the hubs. That's perfect. Makes things a little bit faster. I love not having to go to the anthill just to collect rewards and new quests. I mean, look, the hubs are great, and I think it's kind of cool to go to different ones here and there just for something different, especially now that we have the Substation Zero. But, you know, at the end of the day, you only need one. So that's cool. So we've got this. The bundle will be available to November 5th. So look, make sure you log in between October 22nd and November 5th. Just log in, get your rewards, log out. You don't even have to play. That's literally all you have to do. Make sure you do it. We're committed to making Marvel's Avengers a superhero game we all aspire it to be. Over the next few weeks, months, and year, we'll tell new stories infused with Marvel DNA debut fan favorite superheroes and supervillains, release new regions and gear, and introduce fresh multiplayer game experiences under our new Omega level threat umbrella. More on that below. All right, that's not really appealing to me personally, but to each their own. Blah, blah, blah. So future fan feedback driven features. We can't say enough thank you for the feedback. All this stuff. So here's what they've got coming. Avenger Initiative Ping System. A system that will allow players to mark objects, resources, health crates, and enemies, allowing players to command AI companions and hack smash doors. Perfect. Okay. Much needed. Surprising it wasn't there to begin with, but much needed. Reassemble campaign replay, an option to reset the reassemble campaign and replay it with your superhero levels and gear intact. Now, there's probably something that goes into just being able to replay individual missions, which is what I think a lot of us would rather do, rather than start from the beginning and go through all the way. But maybe that's the way you want to play it. Maybe they don't have a way to just dig into the reassemble and just pick individual missions. But still, this is definitely something I've seen a lot of people ask for, and it's great. You're going to keep your gear, and you'll be able to just replay it as is. So that's great. I love the story, and I'd love to play it again. High contrast mode will allow players to apply solid darkened veils behind text. Okay, cool. Hero icon visibility. I need this. This is definitely much needed. An option to adjust the display of identifying icons above a superhero's head to be on by default or dynamic. Perfect. I want to see them all the time. I want to know where my teammates are without having to press up over and over again. Mission rewards clarity. I mean, that's obvious. And then off-screen and ranged enemy attack indicators. Better feedback for players to avoid off-screen and ranged enemy attacks. That's great. Areas of impact. I mean, it talks all about, that stuff. I don't think anybody cares. They've made some upgrades and improvements to matchmaking. That's great. I don't really use it personally, but I think that's the point. I think that they're finding that a lot of people are trying to take on this content by themselves, and they're trying to push people into matchmaking. Perfect. I mean, I think that's a good thing. Rewards. We know how important meaningful rewards are to fans. Our philosophy is that rewards should always feel worth the time you've invested to earn them. The upcoming AIM cloning lab will guarantee an exotic drop for the first completion per week. That was Thor trying to make a cameo. Thanks, Thor. And notable changes of exotic drops for subsequent runs. Look, man, I've got dogs. What can I do? They're shaking their dog tags. I don't even know if you can hear it, but I can, so that's all that matters. You should also feel that exotic drops are more unique to late game play. Tachyon and future AIM Cloning Lab missions draw from special reward pools. When you do get exotics from these late game activities, they will feel more significant with reworked attributes and perks. I got 2 cosmic pieces last night for Thor that are the exact type of pieces I wanted to use, did cosmic damage, and I'm thrilled with that because cosmic damage is pretty dope. So there's more stuff with Mega Hives. Support our late game players. Drop Mega Hive. Mega Hives are weekly missions. We've heard loud and clear that players want multiplayer options for Mega Hive, and that is something we are working towards in the coming months. Perfect. It's not going to be right away, but it's coming. Tachyon missions and Shield Substation, a new outpost. Shield Substation 0 dropped this week. All right. Tachyon stuff, Omega level threats. The next few weeks we will introduce new mission classifications to Marvel Avengers. Omega level threats. Missions under Omega level threat umbrella are multiplayer focused challenges that are tuned for high-end players and offer special late game rewards. Skill and coordination with your team will be key to overcoming these missions, including Avenger-worthy fight at the finale. Their first step towards more exciting and challenging late game content. Many in our community have asked if Omega level threat missions are Marvel Avengers equivalent to raids. Though focused on multiplayer and designed to be extremely challenging, Omega level threats represent our first step in escalating and challenging your superhero face. So yeah, it's not raid. First Omega level threat is the AIM Cloning Lab. So there you go. We're not going to spoil the surprise. The AIM Cloning Lab must be completed by 10 a.m. Pacific time Friday, between Friday and Monday, basically. While it can be replayed, other late game content, it has better rewards for the first completion. So that makes sense. So here we go, Kate Bishop, okay? Moving forward, we intend to have fixed, predictable patching cycles to ensure all content meets both our and your high standards and has time for extensive internal testing. We know fans are hungry for new content, but delivering a fun experience is our priority. With this in mind, we've decided to push Kate Bishop's operation launch back a bit, out of October. We're sorry for the slight delay, but we are dedicated as a team to quality first. They're trying to make sure we understand that. Okay, look, it is what it is. So Kate's new operation will be a must-play for fans wanting to know what's next in the story. In Marvel's Avengers, Kate Bishop taking aim, tachyon rifts become a harbinger of a new threat. As players investigate the source of them, they will pick up on a story that begins shortly after the conclusion of the Reassemble campaign. Then comes Clint. We'll have more information on him later. And looking into 2021, our biggest Avenger Initiative edition yet will introduce a new hero, region, and narrative arc. Obviously, Black Panther. We're going to Africa. They've also made the decision to shift our PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X launch to next year to ensure that we give our team the time to deliver a next generation experience, showcasing all that this game is meant to be. More details to come. So you'll still be able to play the game on the next generation platforms, I guess. Oh, actually, here it is right here. Maybe if I just kept reading, Jay. Until then, however, you'll be able to continue playing the current gen game on next gen platforms. Take advantage of their powerful hardware, be it via inserting a physical disc or downloading the game. Two of the most obvious benefits of this are improved frame rate and faster loading times. In addition, players who make the jump from PlayStation 5 to the PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X will still be able to play co-op with their friends on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One respectively, as well as carry their existing save game forward to the next generation. Huge, okay? That's what I was starting to say. Obviously, you'll be able to still play the game on your PS5 or XSX. That did not sound right. But it just won't have those extra benefits quite yet. As Mega Marvel fans ourselves, we can't wait to reveal more about the iconic superheroes, supervillains, and settings on the roster these coming months, starting with our next Marvel's Avengers War Table in November. We are so excited to share the future of Marvel's Avengers with you, more than a game. And this is Scott Amos, Crystal Dynamics head of studio. I'd like to end the State of the Game update with a heartfelt note to you, our fans. Reflecting on this past year and isolating global climate that has come with it, superhero stories feel more important than ever. On an individual level, superheroes inspire us to dig deep and get back up after being knocked down. From a societal perspective, they illustrate how our differences enrich communities big and small. In our nearly 30-year history, Crystal Dynamics has never shipped a game under conditions like these. From working at home to avoid a pandemic, to some of us evacuating said homes to stay safe from wildfires. While the challenges 2020 has surfaced are many, it's also instilled a strength in us to reassemble a team divided by geography and life circumstances and come back stronger, united by a mission to do right by you. This is, in part, why we have taken our responsibility developing Marvel's Avengers so seriously. It's our opportunity to pass on that core hero's spirit of heart and hope, connect you with friends near and far, and inspire you to plant your feet against the sea of adversity and say, no, you move. Marvel's Avengers is far more than a game to us, and you are far more than players to us. You are our superheroes. We may be apart, but we are all in this together. So, I mean, that's what I would say if I was in his position, I mean, there's some, I mean, look, we get it, like, it's tough. This year has been hard, and I think there's definitely some patience. We need to have a little bit of patience, and it's not just with Marvel's Avengers, it's with every game, all right? This is different, okay? Like, these people are everywhere, and I don't know how you guys are working or what anybody listening to me at this point does for a living, but I can tell you that working from home is a lot different than working in an office. I mean, when I worked in an office, if I had a question, I went to somebody. When I worked from home, it was different. It's very, very different. And I can only imagine what it's like in an industry like this where, they have crunches. Like, that's the big controversy that everybody runs into when a game's about to launch. Crunch, where they're working 14, 15, 16 hours a day, just to make sure that the game launches properly. And maybe that's actually easier working from home, but at the same time, like, collaboratively, there's challenges. It's not the same. And I get it, all right? I'm not excusing the things that have happened with this game. I haven't, as far as in-game experience, yeah, there's been some issues, but it hasn't, to me, I played last night with my buddy XHBK and a few of his people, all right? And I played, literally all I have left on my Xbox version of the game is to do 17 more hives, and I have every achievement in the game. And I sat there and I played content that did not help me, just so I could level up, Black Widow a little bit more, with her gear, and do some Tachyon rifts, so I can get that cool gear for Thor. And I had a lot of fun. Playing with friends, a lot of fun. They are very high level players, and they definitely carried me a lot. But I also felt like I carried myself in a lot of ways, and I felt really good about it. And I love this game. Has this game treated me the best? I mean, I've had some issues. They're well documented, all right? I'm trying to get over it. It's hard, but the game itself, I love. I love this game, and I want it to do well. And if you paid any money for this game, you should too. And I feel like everybody does. And I think the problem that they have had is not doing something like this. And I know it's hard. There's legalities and there's all sorts of stuff like that you have to go through to put out a message and a statement like this. And they don't owe us an explanation for absolutely everything that happens, They don't need to do that. But some communication would have been nice. And this is a step in the right direction. And the last update was a fantastic update. Honestly, I think really this is a good time to come back and play a little bit more. Definitely October 22nd is a good time to make sure you come back and get these rewards. There are definitely things that I would change. First of all, legendary costumes are not legendary. It's really weird to me to have 4 different versions of the same skin and be told it's legendary, and for $14, that's a steep step. All right. I feel as though a legendary costume should be a one-off costume. It should be, something that, like King Thor, for example, okay? Or even better, a better example would be the Gladiator Hulk. There should only be one Gladiator Hulk costume, not however many there's possibly going to end up being. Because right now there's just a gray Gladiator Hulk. We know there's going to be a green one, and I'm sure there's going to be a couple other different color variations. That should have been one costume, and at $14, that seems pretty fair. All right. It's just hard for me to sit here and think I'm going to have to spend $14 for these other costumes that are just reshades, recolors of the same thing. I do think that for $14, it has to be, I think $14 should be an exotic. Like, exotic is kind of what I'm looking at. It's a only type of skin. Like Fear itself, okay? There shouldn't be 14 other variations of Fear itself. So I think that's one of the things that I would correct. I do think that the item shop is a tad overscaled in price. I do think that it's a little bit much. I do believe that microtransactions are completely acceptable for this game because they're optional, number one. And number two, you're getting the content for free. you're getting the new characters, you're getting the new levels, you're getting the new story. I would rather get those for free and have the people that want to pay for stuff pay for it. And if you want that stuff, I mean, is it really that big deal for a game you love to pay $10 for another season pass for a character or whatever it may be? But it is what it is. I understand people feeling like I paid $60 for a game, I should get everything. I think if that's the case, then they should probably start charging, $120 for the game. I mean, like, let's be real. Have you ever played a mobile game? Have you ever played, Marvel Strike Force or Marvel Future Fight? Like, some of those updates want you to spend $100, $200, and there's other games that are even worse than that. So, that's, I think, something that I would personally rather see. And also, if you get a duplicate legendary item, like you get legendary shader or costume patterns when you hit shield level 40 and PIM Technologies level 40, and I got a duplicate on my shield one, okay? And you know how many credits I got for that? 1,500. A skin is 7,000, okay? I didn't even get half. Like, I feel like you should at least get half the value of whatever duplicate skin you get. So those are two things that I would personally change. I think the gameplay is going in the right direction. I still feel incredible playing as Thor. I'm loving playing as Captain America. I just want my Verizon skins. Like, I would be remiss if I didn't mention that, but we'll see what happens there. So anyway, I know this video is a little long, but this is what's going on. Kate Bishop's delayed. It'll be fine. It's probably only going to be a 2-week delay at most, because we're almost there at this point. So anyway, what do you guys think? Hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see you.